Hello everyone. Let's sort the lighting out. That'll be a little bit better. Still on the old camera, but we are back. I hope we're all doing incredibly well. Let's all start things. How are we all doing today? I'm hoping it's very, very well. I'm having a pretty good, if a little bit panicky, rushy one, which is kind of fun. I'm also enjoying the way that any changes in my lighting on my monitors is sort of like flashbanging me for a moment, as you just saw a second ago, which is making it fairly difficult to move and change things. Loving the new camera angle. I don't do that. Don't. Because soon enough, I will be completely rejigging the office, and everything is going to be very, very different. So let's not get too into the new camera angle, because the camera angle will be changing in no time at all. I figured I would do a very, very quick stream on the general sort of shenanigans going on around Leeds United right now. There are a good few bits and bobs that are happening, that are changing, and I kind of wanted to talk all about it because a lot of it is stuff that is of interest in a transfer-y regard. I know, it's so weird. The fact that doing like transfer-y videos means that you're talking about transfers. Guys, quickly adapt to this camera angle and comply when judges it. No, don't do that, please. Let's not adapt to it at all because it's going to be changing again. But yeah, a bunch of news today that we will be discussing throughout the stream. But yeah, I mean that's kind of the general gist. The first bit that we will talk about is around the Buendia stuff, but we'll get into all of that after I've had a little bit of a deep dive into the comments, including saying good evening to LEFC Sweden. Watch the exit clauses. What exit clauses are we watching? Do they do tricks? That's a very good question. Evening, Joe. Congrats on the babby. I was watching last night's stream on my TV, so I couldn't comment. That's okay. That happens. I keep forgetting that TVs don't have comments, and then a lot of the time I'm like, hey guys, what do we think about this? And it's like, oh, none of you can vote because you're on TV. Oh dear. Which is why it gets very, very confusing from time to time. Joe announced Tsimikas. I believe the Tsimikas thing will be announced in the coming days. I'm still sticking on this one because I'm fairly sure it is done, as much as a lot of people are a little bit spooked. Yeah, my thesis behind this is that they will do exactly what they have done with Trent Alexander-Arnold. When they announce Milos Kerkez, they will also announce Tsimikas as left. So that's the thinking. On the way in December, which is why I will be missing various streams and videos and all sorts for a while, until like everything is more stable, which it won't be because that's how this works. But yeah, I'll be missing bits and bobs from time to time, and I just want you guys to be understanding of it. Announce Solomon again. I don't personally have the power to do that. I wish I did, but here we are in the world in which I don't. But before we dive into all of the news around transfers at the moment, we need to talk about the Leeds Creator Cup because you guys have a grand total of 15 hours to get your tickets. Specifically, 15 hours to get your tickets to earn a spot in the raffle. The raffle is going to feature one prize, one single prize, but it's a pretty high stakes prize. The specifics of the prize are this. It is a specially printed Leeds Creator Cup shirt that will have your name and number on. You see how I prepared that? That was really good. And I also prepared for that using, give me a second, one of the Creator Cup hoodies, which is available at back4.shop. But if you visit the link in the description down below, you'll be able to pick up tickets. It's £7 for adults, £3 for kids. And yeah, if you are able to do so, that would be absolutely spectacular. It'd be lovely to see as many people there as possible on the day, and let's make some fun memories. It will be available online, but let's be honest, it's always more fun watching football in the ground than on TV. So it'd be fantastic seeing as many of you there as possible. And reminder, you have until noon tomorrow, that's noon UK time tomorrow, to get your tickets to be eligible for that draw. I would recommend doing so because it's just nice, isn't it? In addition to that, the winner of said draw, I will need to contact very, very quickly, and I will need them to contact me very, very quickly via the email address that I have used. No, the email address that the ticket buyer used in order to get the tickets. Primarily because I need to work out the number and name in like no time. The shirt order is going in probably on Sunday. So if you're able to tell me as soon as, that would be absolutely wonderful. But yeah, that's all that stuff out of the way. Let's have a little talk about Leeds bits. Thank you, Elliot FC Sweden. Announce something. Okay, I'm going to announce that one of the news things that's come out today, technicalities, is that Leeds United have reportedly made a bid for Amy Buendia. This was a little bit of a weird one. It came out of absolutely nowhere this morning. So I'm going to bring up the tweet and we'll have a little bit of a chat about it. If I can find it. It's one of those guys that's like, actually, my expertise isn't in a club, it's in the market. It's like, you're such a wanker. There's so many different ways of doing that. There we go. Sebastian Vidal is the guy that made the report, stating that Emiliano Buendia could be on his way to Leeds United. The newly promoted side are preparing a £16.8 million bid for the Aston Villa playmaker, which is a very specific number. I have a sneaking feeling that that's going to equal the same as 20 million euros. Would you look at that? It's 20 million euros. Unai Emery's given his blessing. Buendia is ready for a fresh start. Farke hopes to reunite with him at Elland Road. This is a weird one, right? Sebastian Vidal. Is that because it sounds quite close to Sebastian Vettel? This is an odd decision for us to make, and it's not one that I know if I particularly like. So I'm just going to pop open FB Ref. There we go. And the concerns that I've got are mainly around the sort of energy levels that he tends to have. So in terms of per 90 numbers, genuinely not a bad player at all. So top 20% of goals per 90, he's in the top 25% of XG per 90. Passes attempted per 90, top 10%. Progressive passes, top 22%. Top 1% for tackles. The issue comes in when you look at the sort of you look behind those numbers and you look more at what he's actually done in the last year. And in the last year, he played for Aston Villa in the Premier League 98 minutes of football over 12 separate appearances. In the Bundesliga, 257 minutes over 11 appearances, which ain't very good. Like, he only started 3 matches over the last year. And to be fair, yeah, sure, he spent a while at Leverkusen. That's fine. That's going to make it harder to break into the team. However, that still doesn't make it incredibly tempting to want to sign him, in my opinion. And I feel like £17 million is such a vast sum of money to throw at someone who has struggled to get into 2 different teams last year. Didn't play in the 23-24 season, as far as I can tell. I think that was an extended injury, maybe. But it's a bit of an issue. And the thing with this is he was out injured for a while. Yeah, sure. But not for the entirety of the time at Leverkusen. Like, he was clearly fit enough to play in 23 separate matches last season, but his respective sides only trusted him to start in 3, which leaves 20 games of football where he's available on the bench in the matchday squad, and they're like, there's someone better than you. Which is a little bit scary. And to be fair, yeah, Leverkusen, Champions League side. Aston Villa, Champions League side. But you've got to balance injury history with, at the same time, he's still not really getting very many minutes at all. So that's spooky for me. And on this one as well, with the replaces Aronson, I don't know if he does. And this is on a very specific thing. This isn't me saying he's not as good as Brendan Aronson. That would be a stupid thing to say. I fully acknowledge this, because that's not what I'm saying. But instead, what I am saying is there is a reason Aronson had the second most minutes for our side last year. Reason being, he is, as much as he's a small guy and he's not perhaps the strongest footballer you've ever seen, he's relentless. He doesn't stop. He's uninjurable a lot of the time. So whilst people are sort of going along the lines of, yeah, well, probably a better level than Aronson, sure, but if you got both of them in the squad, Aronson's playing more minutes purely based on availability, which is why I'm not convinced by this one. Like, maybe we have put in a bid, sure, but it's one of those where I feel like it could potentially be a mistake if we end up signing him, especially for that much money. What do you think about the tried and trusted approach we're apparently switching to? Would this rule out some of the mooted names? I don't know if it'll just be the one approach, though, because we've also seen reports come out around having two separate vibes that we're aiming for and combining them. So put a little bit of your attention on the tried and trusted kept sides in the Premier League before direction of things, and a little bit in the direction of young players up and coming will help us for the extended period. Because, and I'm just going to quickly respond to this one, he did score 9 goals last season. Clearly not that bad. It's quite confusing. Because yes, you need the quality, but at the same time, you need players that are actually going to get the minutes in. And I am not 100% convinced that we end up with Buendia playing enough football for it to be worth our while. And I want to be wrong. And if we do sign Buendia, I hope he has an absolute banger of a season. But there is no guarantee that he does that. In a different article this morning, there was mention of a lot of different players. This is the one that Joe Wainman chatted about earlier, including the likes of Callum Wilson. Right, this is where you guys, if you want, can clip this up and can ping it around the place, but I'm fully committed to this idea. If Leeds United sign Callum Wilson and he ends up scoring at least 7 goals, then I will, fully clothed, walk into the Irish Sea in Blackpool, just off the pier. Not off the pier, but you know what I mean, next to the pier. This is because Callum Wilson is a decent player, sure. But at the same time, Callum Wilson is so persistently hurt. And it was, I can't remember whose chat it was in the other day, but I said something along the lines of people are really complaining that Bamford doesn't play enough minutes, and then in the same sentence saying, this is why we need to sign Callum Wilson. Sorry? That Callum Wilson? That one? It's this. It's absolutely this. We already have Callum Wilson at home. We don't need another one. It's okay. It would be such a silly move if we were to go for Callum Wilson and go, yeah, this is without a doubt a very, very good signing. He will be playing up front for Leeds United 4 times this season, and then his knees are going to give up, and then he's going to come back, and then his hamstring gives up, and then he'll play 3 more matches at the end of the season when we're already down. You don't need to do that at all, and it would be such a bizarre move that I just never. No, thank you. Not even a little bit. I've always been concerned that all of our wingers are small. It's fine having good set piece takers, but you need people to be able to get on the end of them and score. The thing is, wingers are never the people that are going to be on the end of the set pieces in the first place. Because general rule of thumb, you'll have one of your wingers on the edge of the box, and your player sitting deeper defending against a counter-attack will also, a lot of the time, be a winger as well. Because you need someone that's able to deal with transitional stuff, which requires pace, which requires, in a lot of cases, being smaller because there's less of you to lodge, if that makes sense. I think we won the ball in the opponent's half the most out of any team last season. Majority that's down to Aronson. Don't get me wrong, technically there's better, but his importance is underrated. I think so, yeah. The difference between him and Hamer's the example I'm going to use here, because we've had the Hamer conversation, and a lot of people in my comments disagreed with me on the Hamer conversation, and I think I might disagree with myself on the Hamer conversation, but we'll get there in the end. A lot of my basis for that was Gus Hamer is a decent quality player, but where Brendan Aronson is a cog in the machine, Hamer is the machine that you have to put other cogs into. You know, it's a complicated one, but I still think that we massively underrate Brendan Aronson. I don't hugely understand why, but that's fine. We've had the 49ers now for a while. We've been close to a player. We've been linked with 49ers do their thing, all of the signs of how they do things. Yes, several. We knew that Kamara was done comfortably before that was completed. We knew that Tanaka was probably coming in from the year before. There wasn't much on Solomon or Ramazani, but we were also aware of Bogle before he was coming in. Everyone knew that we'd made a bid for Hamer before that was confirmed. That was confirmed by Kinnear on the Square Balls podcast. Lots, basically. And whilst there are a few moves each summer that tend to sneak by, it's still worth discussing because there's a hell of a lot that is public. And it's a lot harder to keep it private now we're in the Premier League. No, because I very deliberately put a goal-scoring number on Callum Wilson. As much about not having another 10 as it was availability, sure, but every single time he did go out there and was still pressing with a lot of intensity behind a number 9 that a lot of the time doesn't press because Peru doesn't do that. So he's pressing for 2 for an entire season, and like fair play to him. Wilson scores goals, Bamford doesn't. People were questioning Solomon's injury record. Right, okay, so in the last season, 18 appearances for Callum Wilson, no goal. Now, you can say that's because of lack of availability. At the same time, that's the lack of ability from Patrick Bamford that's caused him to not score as well. They have the same problem. So anyone that's like, yeah, but Callum Wilson scores, he doesn't if he can't get on the pitch. And he didn't for almost all of last season. He played 370 minutes in a year. That's a little bit more than a minute a day. It's not good enough. Don't like Hamer from a temperament and fitness point of view. However, if we end up with him, I trust Farke to work his magic on him. I don't know if the fitness thing can be fixed, is my only concern. Because I don't know whether he'd be a Samu Saiz or he'd be a, let's think of a super skid, or he'd be a Klitsch. Where would he fall on the going in hard on the fitness spectrum? I don't know. He says he'll be good in the Prem. Does that mean he thinks he was rubbish in the Championship? I mean, maybe. Like you can't look back at that season and go, I was really happy with that, because although his performances were reasonable, didn't score, although should have. Stupid bloody linesman. Yeah. You see, I'm not sure. I'm going a slightly different direction to a lot of creators on this one. And I'm thinking the way that you do it is you keep Pirro, you keep Bamford, Matteo goes out on loan, and you get in a new centre forward that is on the younger side to learn from both of them. Ideally, someone that is already quite good. And then you've got your youth covered, you've got your pressing 9 covered, you've got your slightly deeper number 9 covered. You've got all 3 profiles still, and someone to come up through, like, someone to develop. But yeah. All the players we could be linked with hypothetically, we're now being linked with divided opinion players, Crocs, and Dodgers. Any Rangers fans in the house? Welcome. Yeah, welcome in, Rangers fans. Ooh, that's a really good idea for a stream. Okay, right. I'm going to do a quick poll. But I need your opinion on this. Okay. There we go. It wouldn't just be for Rangers fans, but it would be very much sort of helpful for them. But it would also sort of be reviewing our time under the 49ers. I think that could be a quite fun idea. But it's up to you guys. Let me know. To read it out if anyone is on TVs and stuff. If I do a stream for Rangers fans to watch that explains how the 49ers work, would you watch it? Yes or no? Try to get a Rangers fan on as well. Maybe. It's one that I would consider doing maybe tomorrow, so I don't think I've got time to organise getting a Rangers fan on board. This is more a case of can I get my own viewers on board with it? Because that would be quite nice if you guys could hop along as well. Would rather Rodoni than Hamer personally, and would be cheaper. That's not a bad shout, to be fair. I'd rather keep Bamford than sign Wilson. It'd be cheaper. Wilson's wages are colossal, if I remember right. But I don't know. Thank you very much, Tony. I've clicked the wrong one. There we go. Could get other content creators involved with that question. Could do. Wait, which question? Unsure. Thank you very much, Lee. If you haven't yet, by the way, just to sort of do this little bit of housekeeping, if there is anyone that hasn't liked the stream, I would hugely appreciate you doing so. It helps everything to get pushed out, and it helps YouTube to go, ooh, this might actually be quite good, and it lets other people see it. I would also recommend, if you haven't yet, subscribing to the channel. Down below, if you see the word subscribe, just click on it, because for the next however long it is until the 20th of July, for every subscriber that I've got, I'll be donating an extra penny to Prostate Cancer UK. So you are effectively giving to charity without having to do anything. And you're helping with my brainy hole feeling good because the numbers go up. It feels nice. Joseph from Rangers Online. I've seen that. I've seen discussion around potentially Largy to Rangers on loan, even though I still need to corroborate that with many, many people because I feel doubtful. Unsure how I feel on that. I don't think it will happen, but we'll have to find out. I'd watch it even though I have a soft spot for Celtic. That's fair enough. Support who you fancy. Owen Rangers YouTuber once masqueraded as a Leeds fan, once made just jokes. Oh, him! I remember it. That was funny. That short period where it was like, oh, there's this guy. Okay, he doesn't actually support Leeds. Nice. Okay, that's helpful. And then we just ended up in that sort of like, how often does this happen? Is this a new thing? Has this ever happened before? I don't know. I know, but Farke, like, I don't know what we're looking at here. Only thing I like about Hamer is the amount of yellow cards Leeds need to. No, but that's stupid. Because if you get a certain number of yellow cards, well done, you've gotten a suspension. And if you get a suspension, well, the team's without you for a bit. So I feel like saying the only thing I like about Hamer is the fact that a couple of times a season he won't play because he's a twat is maybe not the way to go. Shame about Wilson, always loved him at his best, but then if he was still at his best, he wouldn't be available. Yeah. The thing is, I don't know if he would be available enough for us to be able to do that job. That's the fear that I've got around Wilson. In terms of like his pure quality, sure, go for it. But it's the beyond that stuff that's spooky to me, I think. Sell Pirate Ranger for 100. Oh, God. 200 mil for PSR. No. This would be because it's just not the best of ideas, to be honest. That would burn Rangers FFP to the ground at the same time, which isn't really what we want. Like having a new sort of sister club, you don't want to set everything on fire on their end just to sort of boost yourself up, because in the long term, that's just going to make the two sides hate each other, and we don't want that. We want everyone to be nice and happy and swell and good vibes and all that kind of shebang. It was also Sunderland fan. I remember that bit. I've got Motors Glaswegian and Rangers is snarky sod, though. God. I click it 10 times. Do you donate 10p? I've clicked it 100 times. Probably not. No. That would primarily be because then it would unsubscribe you, and I'm basing it on the subscribers number in the YouTube tabs in the background. We're all disappointed with Joseph, or was it just me who thought he was going to... I thought he was going to do better than he did, but it was the right move pulling him out of the team because he clearly wasn't going to get the job done. But that's fine, because sometimes you've got to make that decision. If it's the right choice for your side, you've got to go for it. Give me 20 million, but Brentford are interested, so we might have to look elsewhere. I had a chat with Jer about this earlier over on his Big Up stream. The general sort of feeling between the two of us was that Kelleher would be a mistake. Kelleher wouldn't be the right option for us, and the response to deal with that was effectively, well, there's a lot of other players on the continent that we could pay attention to. Specifically, Dachmann at Augsburg and Petrovic at Strasbourg. I think they're generally better options. Honestly, I'm already going to be having a sleepless night today because on Sunday morning, first thing, by first thing, I mean, hold on, let's find a very specific timing for this shift, just so I'm not accidentally lying to you fun folks. Oh, big shout out to Microsoft Teams, by the way, for being broken again. Hey, there we go. Yes. So my shift on Sunday morning starts at 1:30 a.m. So in order to adapt for this, I'm staying up as long as I can tonight, so I can sort of be like, right, okay, cool. I've shifted my sleep schedule back like 8 hours. That should be okay. And then I'm gonna have to shift it back because I've got the Square Balls walk from the 9th to the 13th. I'll do a bunch of vlogs on that. That won't be a problem. And then it's back to the Club World Cup, so I'll have to shift back 8 hours again. So that's good. That's going to be horrible. Yeah, I'll run you through the specific times of all of my shifts that I've got throughout the Club World Cup. Right. And I will have more than this. It's just this is what I know for now. So we've got 42 minutes past midnight, then 10:42 p.m. All of these are in p.m. unless I say in the morning. Then 7:42, then followed by 1:42 a.m. 6:42 followed by a 1:42 a.m. 7:42 followed by a 1:42 a.m. 7:42, 4:42 in the afternoon. What a treat! Then a 1:42, then another 1:42, 7:42, and a 7:42. So those are my work days, and I may have more than that. But yeah, I may be doing more nighttime streams in the coming weeks for very obvious reasons. Primarily, I kind of have to. Keller's good, but I'm not sure. I'm not convinced by the sample size, is the way I'm going to put that. He's not played enough football for me to say, yeah, he's definitely going to be a good player. Because I'm not convinced, to be honest with you. Whoever we get, I just want the keeper stuff sorted. It will be. It's fine. It all will be well. It just shows the power of a settled team in the Prem when we're considering losing out to Brentford. Yeah, it's being able to play that football for an extended period of time, which is what makes it a little bit scarier. Because if we've not been able to do that and other clubs have, then we're sort of automatically set up to be in a little bit of a troublesome situation. I don't want us to be in said troublesome situation, but it's just sort of how it is, which is depressing. With all the time zone hopping, you're basically a jet set without a jet. Yeah, it's fun. The best bit is, right, there are people who I work with directly. They're getting flown out for various football matches, and it's like, guys, I want to go on a nice holiday. Please. I know I'd be working, but don't buy anyone. Save money. Play the same team. Yeah, we'll go full Norwich. Last time they went up, that seems like a fantastic idea. This feels like a horrible idea, on the other hand. An idea that will get me killed. So I'm going to not do that. No, it is, however, the Yorkshire Roses shirt. It's such a nice shirt. tomorrow at noon, I will be doing the draw for everyone that has a ticket already. We're going to whack all the names into a hat. Specifically, I'm going to do a random number generator from 1 to the number of tickets we've had bought by this point. Or do I do it on orders? I don't know. We'll go to that person in the list, and then whoever it turns out that is, I will contact them and I will do them a specially printed shirt for them to pick up at the match itself. So if you have not yet bought your ticket for the Leeds Creator Cup and you want to, and you want a chance of winning a nice shiny thing for free because it's not an additional paid raffle, £7, ticket link down below. Please do so. That'd be very, very nice. Especially because I kind of need to know the numbers. It's a charity match shirt, but I've just got yeah. I wouldn't spend that much on a keeper which prices out of Kelleher. I would rather an experienced head like Matty Ryan. I'm still leaning Darkman because he's very good. All the numbers I've seen of him are stupid impressive, and I've watched him once or twice, and it's like, yeah, okay, that'll do. I think we need a proven and tested goalkeeper. Maybe Pope for a couple of years would be good. The issue with Pope, and Pope as a shot stopper isn't anything extraordinary. Which, yeah, sure, that's not necessarily his job, but he's bang average in terms of shot stopping. And if we keep conceding a lot of chances, we're just sort of causing ourselves some issues. I don't know. There was someone on Joe's stream wondering why we haven't bought anyone yet. Yeah, I saw that, and it's like, well, that will be because we can't. The only reason Real Madrid have announced that is so they can get everything ready with Trent for the Club World Cup. And the only reason that Liverpool have done that is so Real Madrid can announce Trent Alexander-Arnold. So, tough. Oh, I know. I'm fully aware. I'm ready for that. I just bought 4 tickets for the best Great Cup final ever. Is it just show barcodes on arrival? Yeah, if you just shows that you've got a ticket, then that'll do the job. Beyond that, we still don't know if anyone will be able to just come and pay on the day. We'll have to find out as we go. But I want to say probably that won't be available. We'll see. Enjoyed watching Leeds last season. Had everything. Yeah, it was nice. It was entertaining throughout. It was wonderful. Also, when? Because I can see when all of the sales happen, so I just want to make sure that definitely worked. Because if not, I've got tickets disappearing into a void. Might be that one. Okay. Okay. Will you be auctioning 1 charity match shirt? No, I don't believe that is the plan. That would be because we're only able to do 1 charity match shirt per player. We've got a couple of spares just to sort of make sure that we've got a reasonable amount of stuff. And to be fair, what I might do is wear the spare shirt for a little bit, then get it signed by everyone, auction that off. But maybe. I've got no idea what route, but that might be an idea. Do you mess will go first before we fetch another one in? What? Maybe. It depends. I think we'll get one in first before, yeah. Just to make sure that we've got someone. But then again, we've got Darlow. So, I mean, there's someone. Did you now? Well, where was this? Because if this was in Liverpool, just to be completely clear, by the way, if the Tsimikas thing does formally happen and is confirmed at some point, I'm going to be so disgustingly smug, and I'm gonna be relentless. You guys will have not dealt with a more unbearable version of me because I called this shit like a week and a half ago. And the number of people in my comments that were like, "That's not happening, Joe, isn't it?" Okay. Uh-huh. Uh-huh. Very interesting. Oh, I'm not touching that one. I would mention that I am a YouTuber doing lead stuff, and that would immediately be met with, I'm busy. Oh, what time? We can always work around you. No, I'm busy all the time because I don't think you'd want to risk that. I want JT's Game One shirt. Make sure he works up a good sweat. Right. Okay. I'm directly gonna screenshot that and I'm gonna send that to the chat. Yes, I may have done you dirty this time, but you know what? You're gonna have to deal with it. So if we just anyway, I wouldn't go Carrius. If we want goalkeepers that are not ones that make mistakes, if we're looking for consistency and our response is Loris Karius, then I think we need to look around a little bit and think, maybe not. Thank you. It'd be so nice. But it's never upon the back wall, maybe. I think Byram's more likely to stay. Furpo is more likely to go. I think either could go either way at this point. I would quite like to keep Furpo, but I don't know how likely that realistically is. That's the only fear that I've got. Can we auction player shirts after the game? I will ask the various players, but personally, I know I want to keep mine as a souvenir. I guess it will be a case of having to ask everyone, like, what do you want to do with yours? Because we could raise some more money off of it, but I think it's probably not worth doing. Like, we'll have a think on it, but I don't know. I'm unconvinced. I think he could be a good addition. Yeah, of the ones based in England, he's the one that I would lean towards. Oh, for a friend. Yeah, okay. If we're off 20 for Peru, would you take it? Potentially. Yeah, it depends on what we're doing in terms of sales, because that's sort of the concern. Like, you need to balance your sales for your incoming players, and I think that's probably the way to go. Is Morecambe near you? Have you ever seen Tyson Fury play in the streets? Morecambe was nearer me when I was at uni in Lancaster. Since then, not particularly, and I'm kind of glad because I don't like Morecambe. There's a little bit of a hole, and it scares me. How are teams getting deals done now? It's there. So the way it works is you are allowed to announce transfers. That's fine. If they agree between the two sides, that's okay. You can just announce them. The thing that you are not able to do is register them for your clubs as like officially in the case of Frimpong, you can't officially register him as a Liverpool player yet. You have to wait for the window to open on the 1st of June. You can complete the signings, you can announce the signings, but you can't register the players yet, which means that people just tend to wait. I'm convinced that's bollocks. It cannot be the case. We are not offering him 150k a week. That's just not true. That would make him the highest player at the highest paid player at Aston Villa, for example. Too high. Too high. Bonkers. Still need to properly sort this out. But we will do so at some point. I just haven't had the chance yet. If you're talking the city council run one, no, because that would cost more money, I believe. So probably not. The kids still have Panini sticker books for soccer in England, or am I getting old? I'm very sorry. You may be getting old because not particularly. Although, like, like the collectible trading cards and stuff are very interesting. So, for example, I might try and get like a decent Leeds one next season at some point. I don't know. Why is value dropped on Liverpool reserve keeper? Big style. I think it's just a load of agents chucking numbers around, Liverpool's price team chucking numbers around. It'll be all sorts. It's just madness at this point. We're in the wild west of the transfer era right now. Rough numbers I've heard are in the 12 to 18 million range. I think we'd land at about 15, to be honest with you. Maybe a little bit higher, maybe a little bit lower, but that's the zone that I think we're working in. Oh, just a list of players that I don't know if I fancy. Let's have a look at Fitness as and see what I think. Okay, yeah, sure. I'll have a Zaz, please. I've had an immediate look and I've just thought, no, yeah, okay, those are really, really good numbers. Go for it. He's 23. Is he 24? 23? I don't know. Sometimes they have a tendency of just opening if and when suits them. I mean, if they go for it, then fine, that makes things easier. But either way, it's up to them. Yeah, that won't happen. Yeah, he's gone to Stuttgart, which is another reason that I'm more confident about the Tsimikas thing. Because the day before anything came out about Muslic being on the move, he had a bit of a chat with me and was like, keep an eye on Muslic, by the way. He's potentially going somewhere. But who knows? There's little Mr. Normanton selling merch outside. I can ask him. I'll ask him on the charity walk if he wants to roll up. I'm not convinced he'll fancy it, but the option's there for him. Oh, Bamford all the way. Schalke, that one. Yeah, my bad. I knew it was an S. I knew it was in Germany. I'm close enough. Anyway, will there be any transfer talk from Leeds by Monday? Maybe. I want to say potentially yes. My ongoing theory is once Kirkes is announced, then it'll be announced that Tsimikas is coming to Leeds, because it just makes a little bit more sense for me, you know? No, thank you. Fast does not seem very good. Every time that I've watched Locks on his channel, I've just heard various levels of screaming and swearing about Fast. So that would be a little bit on the scary side for me. I would not consider that in the slightest. That's a genuinely quite big reason that I went for the John Charles Centre spot for the charity match, because it was a spot of like, right, ideal world, Elland Road. Elland Road, unlikely. Let's be fair here. So I built out a list of like potential places that we could play, and like a formative memory in my head was the fact that when I was a kid, I would fairly consistently watch Leeds United women's side playing down there. So I just figured it's got good memories for me. I like it down here. Let's go for it. What happened to him form-wise after leaving Leeds? I don't know. He had some fairly lumpy form. I guess it's you need the right manager if you're in the specific role that he is. So that's what I reckon the issue is, but I'm not sure. I have not. I'm also from Guildsummer Molly originally. It's very nice. I think that's gone, and I think that's gone for one significant reason. Said significant reason being that players will naturally have a sense of importance, and if you are instantly put next to another player, then that could feel quite diminishing. Like footballers, as we know, have egos. Like this is without a doubt, this is a fact. So when you announce multiple players all at the same time and you say, look at all of our new shiny additions, then what you're sort of doing is you're making each of them feel like a little bit more important. Not more important, less important, because they're not announced on their own. So I can see that just not happening anymore. Like, you can get several in a day, sure, but simultaneously is unlikely for me. Are we going to sign a set piece taker? Amazing, we don't have them. We kind of do. Gruev can take them, but you're kind of right. I think we will sign someone who is quite good at set pieces. It is what we're missing quite significantly. No, because they're all over in Sweden. This is the reason that. So, for example, we were considering reaching out to the likes of Bryn and Graham Smith and Baron Gross and Dorigo, but we weren't able to do so. Primarily because they're all going to be in Stockholm for the Scum match the day before, which is an issue, I have to admit, but it's all right. It just means that in those 2 days, we'll have the pre-show and then the main event, which is going to be the Leeds Career Cup, which is why everyone should be attending. Do you think we'll go down the loan route again? Could Solomon be a contender? I don't think we'll loan Solomon. I think earlier today, if I remember right, Solomon was basically told by Spurs, yeah, you're moving on. But it's time. Off you go. So for me, that says that he's going to find a permanent move wherever he goes next, and I think we're sort of pole position on that one. I can see that one working. Reading an article today, Farke called team meeting after the Swansea game at home. Everyone could have their say. I think that's been mentioned before. I've seen that before. I know that much. But yeah, it was in a presser actually. It was like, yeah, we just had a big old team meeting, and a bunch of players had their say, and we've made the decision that we've made, which is a nice democratic way of saying that, yeah, okay, Melier, probably not good enough. Just off you pop. Totally. Reading out article today, that's the one I just read. Thanks, Brian. Should be one of our sticking points when looking at a 10 or a fullback. I've got some really good at set pieces, could be some of our biggest chances. Yeah, that's a good idea. I don't mind Ampadu at centre back. I've got to be honest with you. For like extended periods, he's done that, and he's been fairly solid throughout. Like, he dictates the pace of a game from back there pretty well. It's a good combination to have in terms of a sort of centre back / midfield can do both kind of guy. It's not the worst of assets to have in your side. No, Philip. Fast good. No. Stop trying to sell us on Wout Fast. We're not. Nope. Because I still remember that match where Wout Fast scored 2 own goals. That doesn't. You can't just keep saying his name and it becomes a good idea. Is Farke having a certain players in the Sunday? Yes. It will be the same gist as it has been for basically all recent transfer windows at Leeds, where Farke is continuing to insist, no, I'm a manager. Therefore, I do the recruitment and I do the on-pitch stuff, which is good because it shows that he's fairly confident in his own abilities. But yeah, he's going to have a say. Biol is really good for corners. I don't know who we're referring to. Hi, sorry, I got tickets to the Man U game, so that's completely fine. That's all good. It's the day after, though. The Man United match is the 19th, whereas the Creator Cup is on the 20th, which means you'll still, in theory, be able to watch it just on the internet. So I'll be streaming it on this YouTube channel, but I will be renaming this YouTube channel for the day to Leeds Creator Cup or something along those lines. If I'm able to, I will have to check on what the back end of YouTube says about that, because I'm not certain and I don't want to take a risk to burn everything to the ground. But Molly's changed in 20 years. It will have done, but to be fair, Molly could have done with a few changes, so I'm not going to complain too much. 6'6" Udinese centre back have been linked. Oh, I get you. Right, okay. Anyway, what I'm going to very, very quickly do is see if I've got anything else to cover. I'm not sure what to do a video on for the morning. I'll work that one out before I finish up the stream. If I can work out how to do it, let's have a look. Or if anyone's got anything that they want me to cover, I can do that as well. Can I do that because the world record deal, that'll just be the Rangers buy. Preparing a bid to sign player, that's going to be Buendia. Negotiations underway for something. I don't know what that one is. Midfielder officially left out of Club World Cup squad after Leeds United interest. Who is that? Wait, the Club World Cup squad's out? Because that's on the list of things that I should know. McAtee. Okay. That's what I'm going to do then. Okay, you guys can join me then for a very, very, very quick, because I don't want to end the stream just yet because I'm having fun. In the words of a WWE commentator, he's just having fun, Maggle. But what I can do is I can go into my thumbnail editing hole. Oh, I've not got any images. Right, okay. Present, share screen. There we go. Right. That's a reasonable thumbnail-y title. And then I'll find a picture of the guy. Oh, that's a banger of a picture of the guy. Whack that there. Bosh. Make it bigger. Look at that big boy. And then I'm gonna search the word Leeds. There we go. Whack a Leeds badge in the background. You see, no other YouTubers will show you their entire process. But here we are. There we go. That'll do. That indicates everything that I'm trying to get it to indicate. And yeah, I can't wait for someone to shout the word clickbait at me for it. Because, I mean, McAtee is potentially on the move and Leeds United have an interest. So, ha 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 ha. Oh, God, people are going to lose their nuts so much. It's always fun. AC Milan sack the manager. I'm worried now. Come get whatever. Farke has to change next season. He needs a plan, but he has one. You just don't like it. His plan B being go more attacking, but he needed to use it relatively little last season, so it's fine. Like, do plan A better. A vlog on possible Leeds players to be loaned out. That could work. I might think about that. No, sure, we could afford McAtee. Don't say you want that much. We'd get as for that. Yeah, but I don't personally think that Azaz is as good. Like, he's decent, sure. But I think there's a reason McAtee would be more. And that's because he's just a better footballer. Right, let's have a quick look for Club World Cup squad. Deadline. Okay. The thing is, they won't be officially there yet. I don't know. That was, I'm going to guess that says well, but thank you. I appreciate that. I know, but it's fine. You need to do something to get people interested. And if you don't, then everyone just goes, well, why should I give a shit? And it's like, well, ideally, right, in the perfect world, I wouldn't need to publish things like that. However, the fact that all you watch is things with, like, an attractive thumbnail makes it really, really hard to not do it. Man, show me how to make AIVs. Jesus Christ, some of them. You can always tell, though. That's the thing. If you're looking close enough, you can always tell. I haven't said that about McAtee. Not even a little bit. I'd like him to. A little bit, but not hugely. I assume we're meaning Finn as here. What's the difference between clickbait, a thumbnail, and artistic license? Clickbait, I would say, is a case when you're just straight lying to a person. So if I were in a thumbnail, let's just bring up an example. That one. Cool. Eeny, meeny, miny. That's a bunch of work bits. I need to find. There we go. So we'll call this a similar video, right? We'll say that this is also going to be a video about McAtee. If I do this, and I say Leeds United sign Club World Cup number 10. That's the difference. Because in this case, there's no way in the world that you look at this thumbnail and you think, oh, that means James McAtee. Whereas on the other side, that's pretty clear. Like, McAtee probably on the move because he's not part of the Club World Cup squad, which he obviously would be if he was going to stay at Manchester City. Therefore, potential move, and Leeds United are interested, thus Leeds United. Whereas this is just bollocks. This is just introducing things that, like, this is introducing completely new things that aren't anything to do with the story, which is, for me, the sort of fundamental difference. I've just realized I'm not showing that tab. There we go. Wait for it. No. Yeah. Cool. Yeah. If I were to make this the thumbnail instead, like, very obviously, this is clickbait. Because whilst Man City are at the Club World Cup and James McAtee is a number 10, he's not Lionel Messi. Whereas this is an actual version of it. That's the difference for me. If you are able to discern what the video is about through just a thumbnail, it doesn't count as clickbait. In good faith as well, you have to actually be like trying. Who else we linked with to sign? I know about. Okay, so get Jamie Vardy off that list right now, because that's not going to happen. There's a lot aside from that, so I can't give you the full list. But keep an eye on this channel, subscribe, and I will be doing videos about all of the big bits of news that come out. Oh, that was a nice little cheeky plug, wasn't it? Yeah, it's impossible to go through everyone right now, which is why I'm not going to attempt to, because that would be literally impossible. It's not clickbait if you state facts. This is the general rule that I tend to follow as well. Yeah, clickbait gets views. It does, yeah, and that's why a lot of people do it, and I do my best to avoid it because I don't like being that person. It feels like cheating. Title: McAtee finished at Manchester. Maybe. You see, that's one of those that is a very accurate title, but I don't know if it'd do well. You know what? If I've still got access to that, imagine if you did put that up with Messi. Ooh. Okay, so what you can do on the back end of YouTube is you can put up a video so it's got 3 different thumbnails that show to different people. I don't have control in the slightest over who gets which thumbnail. However, I can set 3 of them. So, do I, as a test, make one of those 3 thumbnails the Messi one? It's incredibly stupid, and I would explain it within the video, but I kind of want to know what you guys think. I would explain it in the introduction, to be completely clear, and you know what? It would kill that video off. It would destroy its retention. But it could be very funny. This is just as one of the 3 options, so there's like a 1 in 3 chance that you get it if you watch the video. I'll give you guys a decent amount of time to vote upon the poll. First line states, sorry, no, we're not citing Messi. Yeah, genuinely something along those lines. And I would say chat made me do it. Because you guys would be making me do it, because you're monsters. Go for it, but explain it at the end. I'm not explaining it at the end. No, because that would burn my YouTube retention to the ground. Just say somewhere in the video that Messi's playing in the Club World Cup. I could. Right, hold on. I will need a 3rd thumbnail then. Right. So let's get the 3rd one created as well. I like plotting. It's great fun. Right, what I'm going to do with this one is I'm going to take... In fact, I'm going to delete this. I'm going to duplicate the McAtee one. But I'm going to edit it. So highlights up, shadows up, whites up, blacks down, vibrance up, saturation down, no, vibrance down as well. Then foreground, brightness all the way up. Bosh, cool. Now you've got a little silhouette. Leeds target. You see, the best bit is this is going to sort of prove who does and doesn't watch the streams. So pop in that. That for massive transfer. This is also a touch clickbaity, I've got to admit. I'll rework that one to summer. There we go. Right, where were we? You're above all that, don't do it. No, this is like, if I were doing it like genuinely and unironically, then absolutely I would not do that. This is more of a, this would be quite funny to see what happens with all this. Can you give me a play for an edit? McAtee, that'll do. Club World Cup bollocks there. Oi! Rude. I kind of need people to watch that. It's my job. So yeah, please watch the Club World Cup if it is on when you're awake for certain matches. Please. Considering that that's how I get paid right now. I'm looking for serious LUFC content, not utter bollocks. I mean... It's very clearly not serious, though. And in the first line of the video, I would be like, I'm kidding. It's not him. Evidence about clickbait making people click on things. What time will the matches be played? It varies. So you got some at... That's a good question. Like 5 p.m? I'll look. I'll make sure. I think it would require more explanations than you were banking on. I'll be fine. Matty's live stream side. Thank you for letting me know. I will do a raid over in his direction in a minute's time. But what we're going to do is, as our raid message, I've got a very fun idea. Right, where's the bloody Club World Cup? There we go. Fixtures. Kickoff times in UK time are oh fucking hell. I'm not working that one, am I? Oh, phew. Right. So you got 1 a.m., 5 p.m., 8 p.m., 11 p.m., then 3 a.m., then 11 p.m., then 2 a.m. It's all over the place. It's a little bit chaotic, to be honest with you, but it's fine. Where do you work? Is it for a TV company? It's for the Zone, so the ones with the rights to the Club World Cup. So if you head over to thezone.com, I think, and make a free account, then you should have access to the Club World Cup. Yeah, that's my thinking. Like, it would very much be, I would explain it immediately to sort of explain stuff. Sounds good to me. I'm 6 hours behind. I mean, if you're in the US, then that obviously works because it's in the US. But yeah, I might do the odd watch along. I'm not sure. We'll find out. Anyway, I have taken enough of you guys' time. So what I'm going to do is I am going to do a redirect over to Imagine Not Being Leeds. And I'm going to attach a little bit of a message. There we go. Cool. That's gone wrong. Hold on. Ignore. Do not copy that because I've done a typo. There we go. So we're going to head over to Matty's stream at the moment. We're going to copy the Leeds are signing Messi message and just spam it because I want to see if we can derail someone's stream. Either way, hope you enjoyed this one. If you did, pop a like on it. Subscribe if you're not yet. You could even become a channel member. It's £2.99 for a month and get your tickets to the Leeds Creator Cup. Do it now, quick. Hope you enjoyed. I will see you later. Toodaloo. Remember, spam the message.